It's Johnny Busket. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be going over the DCDB Cube Season 17 update. There's a lot to get into. There's a bunch of new things. There's a bunch of things that were removed. There's a bunch of things that are different. There's a lot of surprises. It caught me by surprise in a few different places, and it probably will catch you by surprise as well. Let's jump right into it because there's a lot. I'm going to overview the season, a lot of the updates. We may even get a chance to talk to Robert Green about a lot of this, whether this video or in a separate video. I'm excited. There's a lot of cool things going on in the DCDB realm. Let's get it started. Let's go ahead and start off with the main deck bans. 105 cards. Of course, that includes duplicates that were banned. A lot of the great cards you love to abuse. A lot of the overpowered cards are gone now. Even some of the cards you really hated and never wanted to buy, those are gone. Cards like the 2 power 2 cost Catwoman or even Giant Growth, Penguin, those are gone. Let's just start by taking a look at a lot of these, starting at the top of this list with Zodiac Crystals and then right into World's Mightiest. 5 power, 3 VP, 8 cost card. No need to wonder why it's gone. It's just a really good card. You could tell with a lot of these changes they were making, they're just kind of taking us back to the mean, kind of reeling things in on both sides, more so on the high end than the low end. But definitely trying to get rid of a lot of these cards that would just flip the game on its head as soon as you got it. Cards like White Lantern Power Battery. I've been in a situation where I bought this card, I had a plastic man in hand, so I got an MC hat for free and put it right on top of my deck. I mean, things like that, they were really trying to get out of there. Transmute was banned. This wasn't by the rules committee though. This is actually due to Tap, one of our players in DCDB. He actually got enough power rings to where he had the most this season, and he actually had the option of banning a card, and he banned Transmute. More on things like that a little bit later. But Riddler, no more great cards off the top for 3 power. Supergirl, and of course Super Strength. If you're a part of the Patreon, you got this hint early on that Super Strength and of course White Lantern Power Battery were going to be banned, so you might want to sign up for that Patreon when you get a chance. Speed Force is gone. Trench Coat, and right above Trench Coat, I kind of skipped over it. Stargirl. So those cards that interact with the Destroy pile, those are gone. Just those couple. Shazam, he's out of there. Wow, RP Shazam, the MC and the card now. And World's Mightiest, they're really getting Shazam out of here. Royal Flush Gang, thank God. I mean, when 2 or 3, maybe even 4 Royal Flush Gangs show up out of the 5 that were in the main deck, they just sit there in the lineup. Unless you just have a deck that can really abuse having 2 or 3 of those in your deck, or you have a Shapeshift, then you're probably not buying them. You're probably just destroying them with something like a Sonic Siren. Raven, she's gone. Patty Spivot, here for a season and then gone again. I really like Patty Spivot. Of course she can get really bad though, but I understand. Parasite's gone. I mean, there's already so few attacks and we lost some. We gained a couple, but we lost a few with the bans as well. Parasite's right up there with Psycho Pirate, just like ruining your game right at the beginning. So not gonna say I'm sad to see him go. Metron, no more 60 power Kid Flash, milling the lineup. That's finished. Mara Al Ghul, she's gone. Magic Clone and Magic, just to kind of go along with the removal of Clayface, which is a little further down. These cloning cards are gone now. One of the Kyle Rayners, draw 2, discard a card to attack. Coriander, Katana, Iron Heights, Interceptor, Indigo Tribe is gone. Another high cost, high power card that's gone. Gorilla Grodd is gone, kinda. More on that in a little bit. Giganta, Giant Growth, like I said, those 2 cost 2 power cards, they got those out of there. Frankenstein, another heavy hitter. Cosmic Staff. So if you play with me, you know I have defense teams, and one of the defense teams, it was just so much fun to spam Cosmic Staff, just grabbing stuff off the bottom. It got ridiculous, but even in some of those games, I would still get second and maybe even third, even just milling, because I wouldn't have a hand. I would just have that, unless I used a defense team where it was literally infinite. But sad to see that go nonetheless. Connor Kent, no more pulling super strength and whatever other amazing superpower from your discard pile anymore. That's done. Clayface, there it is. Those cloning cards are just gone, man. No more of that cloning MC hat to make everybody's life miserable, unless you have Plastic Man. Captain Boomerang, Catwoman, once again a 2 power 2 cost, Brother Blood, Bow Staff, Black Orchid, another defense I would love to spam, but I guess I can just have Black Orchid as an MC now. More on that. And Abracadabra, all gone. So yeah, like I said, more so on the high end than the low end. Kind of reeling in what type of deck you're making and not just having a game be over because somebody got one or two really amazing cards. Not sad to see Royal Flush Gang go. Let me emphasize that again. So let's move on to the main deck additions. So the main deck is now sitting at 461 cards. 105 were removed. I think 39 were added. One of the big things about this update, and I probably should have kind of got into that right at the beginning, we saw the release of the Dark Knight's Metal expansion based on that storyline in DC. And so we got new MCs, new cards from Dark Knight's Metal. It's really amazing, as you guys can see. I'm in the mod that BladeCon made. It's really amazing. He has different comic book things around the actual mod, and this is one. This is based off Dark Knight's Metal, the Batman Who Laughs. So yeah, we got a lot of new stuff from that. It's really cool. Let's go ahead and look at the new cards in the main deck. So to start off with the cards that aren't from Dark Knight's Metal. These were just additions added by the Rules Committee from different sets. Teen Titans Go, we saw the addition of Calderon, another defense card, an extendable head. Coming in from Confrontations, we got Hermes, and we also have Orion. We have Pots as well, which is Zatanna Speak for Stop. It's a block card, so we see the addition of this new keyword block. You can't actually block anything or use the block effect. It's just a keyword that you can interact with. If you see Hermes, he actually can stack a defense and or a block card. So it'll just be interacted in ways like that, not necessarily blocking anything. Misfit, crossover 6. So if you guys somehow are still using your Batcat rotation teams, if you control a rotated card, you get to put any cards you buy or gain this turn on top of your deck, so that would be really cool. Shields Up from Rebirth. You can discard a card to draw a card to defend, and it introduces range into the DC set, or better yet, I guess it didn't introduce because maybe we have one or two others, but they did clarify in this update that range is unlimited between players. So if you play Rebirth, you know there's spaces and there's a range between spaces, not so much in Cube. Everyone is at unlimited range from one another, but really you can only target yourself, so there's no need to worry about that necessarily. That takes us into the Dark Knight's Metal editions. I'm really happy with the cards they added. I think it's really going to spice the game up a bit. First being Black Manta, an attack. Each foe puts a weakness in a discard pile on top of their deck. Play the Dark Knight's Metal expansion if you haven't, because it's really fun. The Dark Knight's Metal set really emphasizes weaknesses. So whether that's gaining weaknesses, getting rid of weaknesses, weaknesses really affect the game in a different way, in a really major way. So that's why you kind of see a lot of these cards referencing. Carter Hall, another amazing card. We got a new attack. Each foe gains a weakness and puts it into their hand. Those are a couple new attacks we got. Clayface, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and discard all cards with the highest cost revealed this way. Draw the rest. Not that great, but I think with Mr. Miracle, I could probably make some great things happen. So that's cool. That was the promo card for the Dark Knight's Metal set. Deathstroke, we got a new defense, and it's amazing as well. If you defend with this, you draw a card and you may destroy a card in your hand. Dionysium, if you played a superpower or another metal card this turn, you may destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. 8th Metal Sunblade, really great card. I could see some great things happening with that as well as with Mr. Miracle. Escape, Fair Play, if you control a weakness, you may draw a card. There's that weakness again. Mr. Terrific, Nth Metal Mace, the best defense. Probably the best defense, I'll say, in the game. I don't think this is going to make it past this season. It's a 9-cost card, 4 VP, 4 power. If you defend, you draw 3 cards and destroy any number of weaknesses in your hand. I don't think that's going to make it far. It's going to be fun this season, though, so enjoy it. Oblivion Bar, really good ongoing. So here we are on Amar Sin. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's Gorilla Grodd, who's now has a metal subtype. So Gorilla Grodd isn't really gone. He's just a metal subtype now and a whole different character. Phantom Zone Projector, another destruction defense, but you can destroy and discard pile. Plastic Man. So we have a new edition of a Plastic Man MC, which we'll talk about later. But we also have a card, so that's pretty cool. Search for the Depths. Superman edition into the main deck. 4 power. You may discard each weakness. There's weakness again that you control. Let's scroll up a bit. We have the Dark Multiverse, another ongoing that lets you pick up a cost 0 from your discard pile into your hand. Might be able to get rid of those weaknesses a little faster doing that. A draw defense, the Flash, draw 3 cards, discard 3 cards, and then we have Tomb of Haset. That's ongoing as well. I got to use this a bit, and it was really fun. You can reset your hand at any moment's notice, and once again, I'll speak on my Mr. Miracle usage. It was really great to kind of stack those cards that I wanted to keep and get rid of my starters or weakness, whatever, and draw 4 more new cards. So those are the additions for the main deck. There's more defense. We got some new cards, a new keyword. It's going to be really fun this season. I think we should go ahead and move into supervillain changes. So 3 supervillains were banned: Lex Luthor, Hawkman, and the Anti-Monitor. Okay. I'm not sad to see Lex Luthor go. It's always the worst when you buy a boss and then you lose the same amount of VP just because of Lex Luthor. Hawkman, he can ruin the game for you real quick. And not to mention, if you buy Hawkman, you get 2 VP right off the bat, and that's out of this world. That's just a really good card. And Anti-Monitor, definitely one of the least effective 12 cost supervillains, so he's out of there as well. None of the Dark Knight's metal supervillains made it in. They were all banned. I don't know if they're perma-banned right now, so we may get them at some point. They don't have an effect for playing. So the thing is, if you bought them, you would just get the VP and it would go to your score pad. So, but I would like to see it because some of if you play Dark Knight's Metal, some of their first appearance attacks are pretty devastating. I think it would kind of add some more spice, especially with one of the new updates we have right here that I'll get into on the rules changes. Let's go ahead and jump into the main event, the MC updates. Let's close that out. Flip these over. Okay, so we have additions, bans. We have a lot of movement. A lot of the 222 teams that you would like to use are broken up and are gone. So we'll start right off the bat with that. In ones, there were no new additions, but there was some movement. So I'll kind of open that up for you guys to see. There's nothing new in there. But if we come over to 2, Phantom Girl and C4 Nightwing are now 2s. Okay, so a lot of those teams are going to change. Like I said, there was a lot of changes this season. I think it's going to be a really new version of Cube. There's going to be some similarities, of course. There are teams that stuck around, but as far as the teams that are really on the high side of things, those are gone. Sorry for you guys who love boomer teams or things like that. You just have to find something new, right? I'm sure there's a ton of broken things in this still, just because that's how it works, you know. There's going to be a lot of cool interaction still, but there was a ton of movement, some that really surprised me. So let's look. In the 2s, the one new addition from Dark Knight's Metal is the Flash. So once during each of your turns, when you play a defense, draw a card. I wanted to see it be a 1, but of course it's a draw MC, so that wasn't going to happen. But no love lost there. So aside from the Flash and Nightwing and of course Phantom Girl, we have 2 rescued MCs, and I'll tell you more about how those got rescued after we go through the MC updates. Ocean Master, really good. Sinestro, each time you avoid an attack, you gain 1 VP. You can pay 2 VPs and defend yourself, because of course you can't target anyone else if you read that text, and you know the Q rules, you can only defend yourself with that. But as you defend with 2 VPs, you get 1 VP back, so that's pretty cool. As a person who loves playing defense teams, I can't wait to make this as broken as possible. I'm sure it won't remain a 2, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So moving on to the 3s. Once again, guys, a lot of 2s became 3s, and I'll just start off with those right off the bat. All the 2s that became 3s, we have Beast Boy, Captain Boomerang, Chameleon Boy, Gorilla Grodd, Power Girl, Simon Bass, the promo Starfire, Superboy, and C4 Flash, all becoming threes. I necessarily didn't expect with one of the bands they had for Chameleon Boy and Gorilla Glide to be moved up, or maybe even Simon Baz being moved up. Beast Boy has always been really good, so that didn't surprise me as much. C4 Flash was really good last season as well, so I'm not that surprised at that one as well. So other threes that were added, we have Aquaman from Dark Knight's Metal, Deathstroke being added, Doctor Fate from Dark Knight's Metal being added, and Wonder Woman. This Aquaman, I could see it becoming a favorite of players really quick. If you control 2 or more villains and/or superpowers plus 1 power, and you may stack cards you gain this turn on top of your deck, any card, 7 cost, 6 cost, the super villain, whatever you want. So if you get a molecular vibration, a Lady Vic, a force field, any of those, a tactile telekinesis, any of those superpower or villain cards that are ongoings, including the super villains, you can instantly get 1 power and stack any card on each of your turns. So needless to say, he's way better than the other Aquaman at 3. And I'm sure there'll be some really cool teams put together with that as well. Dr. Fate. I mean, he's not that amazing, but I'm sure he's going to have some cool interaction somewhere. Deathstroke, I want to emphasize that this is once per turn, not once per your turn. So that means if you destroy on your opponent's turns as well, you can still draw that card if it's the first time you've done it. So if you get attacked by Black Lantern, Green Arrow, or you defend with Deathstroke or Phantom Zone Projector and you destroy a card, you can draw your card. So he's probably going to have some cool stuff happen. I haven't seen him be too OP yet, but it was just at the beginning. Wonder Woman, I think she's being slept on a little bit. There may be some cool things with her. If you control 2 or more equipment and or superpowers, you draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. That could have some cool interactions too. Just to scan through here, I believe that's all the additions and movement up. We do have one that moved down. So Weather Wizard moving down from 4 to a 3. We're going to see him a lot more, I'm sure. You discard 2 cards, you draw a card, and he has Teamwork. Teamwork really caught the boot a while ago as far as its effectiveness. I won't say it's not effective anymore, it's just not ridiculous. So we have that change there. Moving on to 4s, there's only one card that got moved up here, and that's Calabac. So sorry for you Calabac players, you're going to have to make some new teams that don't include Black Lightning. Yeah, he's good. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be moved up to a 4, but yeah, that's going to be there in the 4 category. One other new card in this category is Batman. He was rescued as well. Once during each of your turns, if you play a hero and an equipment, you can play a non-location card from the lineup and then return it. So that means you can play it and then still be able to buy it, which is really amazing. If you get one of those great cards in the lineup and you play it, you can use it to buy itself or even buy the boss. So one more change for the 4s. Golden Glider has actually moved down from a 5. She's a 4 now, so we'll see her again. One team I actually saw being used by Bladecom and a couple other people was Golden Glider, Jay Garrick, and also being used with Batman. So that ninjutsu from Batman that actually gives the card a draw ability, which lets you Jay Garrick. So that's really cool. And of course, the Batman Golden Glider interaction we've all kind of known about. Get that double draw effect. So that's pretty cool. But that will do it for the 4s. We only have 2 5s now, with Golden Glider being reduced to a 4. That's Mr. Terrific, new from the Dark Knight's Metal set, and Plastic Man from the Dark Knight's Metal set. I don't see Mr. Terrific getting much burn. He can be effective, but you have to really monitor how many weaknesses you're taking and make sure you're getting good destruction cards, like a Lobo or something like that. Plastic Man, he's a 5. He's amazing as a 3 if he was a 3, so he couldn't be a 3. 4, he was still pretty good as a 4. And 5, there's only one thing you're really trying to do, and that's to get the infinite with Kid Flash. That's to find you the 2 Plastic Men in the main deck, buy them both, use them both to get infinite power, and buy the whole main deck. That's probably the win condition right there. Otherwise, you have to really exploit some of the main deck cards to try to have that extreme effectiveness of Plastic Man. I don't think he's going to get that much burn at a 5, but I guess that was the best way to keep him in check. 4, I would have liked to see it, but definitely not 3. He definitely wasn't going to be a 3. You could just start with Black Adam. But that will do it for the additions in the main deck. The Dark Knight Metal MCs that weren't rescued, I'd like to see them come about in the future. I'm glad they didn't do all of them, just so we have some things to look forward to later. So that's good. So I talked about a few cards getting rescued. Let me pull those out. Ocean Master, Sinestro, those are both 2s. And of course, Batman. All right, so Call Me Ah, he won a tournament and he was able to rescue Batman 12. And Johan Liebert, he won a tournament. He was able to rescue Ocean Master. So thank you both for that. These are going to be really fun cards. And also one of our players from France, I try not to butcher his name, but I'm going to try it anyway. Sanguinis, he rescued Sinestro. He didn't win a tournament though. He actually got to do it because he played the most ranked games this season. So that's actually the third way you can actually get involved with changing the main deck or changing the cube and adding MCs or changing cards. We talked about Tap earlier, banning Transmute. So now you can win in tournaments, playing the most ranked games. They're always looking for ways to kind of promote us to play the game more and be involved more in different ways. So make sure you're doing that trivia, you're playing ranked matches, you're being a part of the tournaments, because you can actually put your own imprint into the game. And I think that's really exciting and that's really dope. So hopefully we can all get to be a part of that at some point. So for the MCs that were banned, Deadshot got deadshotted. I didn't even pull him out to look at him. I'm done looking at him. We're all done looking at him for right now. He is banned. A few players wanted to see him get moved up. I didn't mind him being moved up. I didn't necessarily expect him to get banned, even though some people were asking for it. It became more and more likely as time went on. But now he's banned. Joker's going to be banned, and Rebirth Wonder Woman as well. So to kind of jump over to the rules updates I was talking about earlier, one being this reserve weakness stack. So now, in each game, there will be a reserve stack of weaknesses, 40 of them. When the traditional stack runs out, at that point, any boss attacks that require you to gain a weakness will come from the reserve. You can't gain weaknesses from attacks from the reserve, but if it's a boss attack, yes, you can. Everyone loved when the weakness stack ran out and you didn't have to worry about bosses anymore that much, besides a few. But now you still have to take those weaknesses if you don't defend. So that's one of the changes there. Another rule update is the block keyword that I talked about earlier. These cards that mention block, like this, you can't actually defend with those, but they're just a keyword that's now in the game. Block is a keyword that's now in the game for you guys to interact with and kind of recognize. They'll be on some cards. Once again, you can't defend with them, but they are there. And another update in the rules is range, like shields up. I talked a little bit about it earlier. Unlimited range between opponents and yourself, and you can only target yourself, so it doesn't matter that much. There's also a reminder about weaknesses in the update. Weaknesses do have the name of weakness, of course, and a type weakness that comes into play with cards like Animal Man. You get 2 power for playing a weakness. Cards like Shapeshift, they can take upon the name weakness. So if you have a card like Fair Play, let me pull that up. One of the new cards from the Dark Knight's Metal set, it says that if you control a weakness that you get to draw a card. Here it is. So if you control a Shapeshift, it is a weakness and you may draw a card. So interactions like that, you want to keep that in mind. It's a name and it's a type. So the database is also being updated. I think I can show you guys that. Alright, so here we are. The updated database. You can actually do an advanced search now and it looks a little different. It looks great. Robert's been working hard on this one. It looks amazing. So now you can do text contains, draw or gain, or pertains to. So instead of having to just pull up cards that are defenses when you search for a defense, it'll show you cards that just pertain to defense as well. Of course, it isn't active right now, but that is something that you can do, and it's really, really cool. I think this is going to be a great resource for all of us that like to look at the different cards, even the ones that are banned, and just kind of get more information on those, or see what's available, see what we can do, see what's not available, maybe might come up in the future. So be looking out for this change as well. The ratings page will now include players that have been invited to the Players Challenge. If you guys are winning those tournaments, you can get an invite to the Players Challenge, which is held later this year. Robert's kind of hinting at that they will have some different spices added to the mix, let's say, for those games in the player challenge. So looking forward to seeing those. The next tournament is on August 29th. A link to the calendar is in the description, where you can see the different events being held by DCDB Cube. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a really good season, I think. I'm looking forward to playing with all of you guys. But those are the updates I have from season 17. The link to the notes are in the description. The link to the database is in the description. I'm really glad the community is growing. I'm always having fun with my guys, laughing, joking, talking trash to each other. And thanks to Robert for even letting me get this information a little early so I can start working on this video. So hopefully I'm going to have a lot more content for you guys. So be looking out for that. Subscribe to the channel, like. I'm going to have this sit down with Robert soon so we can get some of those questions you have answered. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.